TGO, Tom Gruenwald Outdoors, is brought to you by HT, premium ice tackle since 1974. Polar Fire Gear, this is how it's done. Tourism Saskatchewan, Canada's best freshwater fishing. Vexilar, ice fishing begins when you turn your Vexilar on. Kalispell, Montana, discovery in every direction. And these other fine sponsors.
Hello everyone and welcome to Tom Gruenwald Outdoors. I'm Tom Gruenwald and today we've got kind of a neat show lined up for you. You know, you could talk to a variety of people and ask them, why do you ice fish? Some people, it's the quiet and the solitude of coming out by themselves in the wintertime and just getting away from it all. For other people, it might be the camaraderie of spending some time with friends and family out on the ice. Some people, it might be the competitiveness, trying to beat out your buddy and get into the thrill of trying to see if you can catch more fish than the next person. There's a whole variety of reasons. Today, we're on Upper Thompson Lake in Montana, just outside of Kalispell. We're following one of the 2014 Perch Assault events. The Perch Assault tournament is an organized ice fishing tournament, and it's the longest continuously operating ice fishing tournament basically in North America. We'll even be at the end of the tournament to watch the weigh-in and see the winners crowned. This is going to be a really fun show, and it's an opportunity to learn more. If you're interested in possibly participating in an organized ice fishing tournament, today we're going to show you what it's all about. Join us right here as we follow the 2014 Perch Assault on Upper Thompson Lake on TGO. 6 o'clock a.m., minus 6 degrees. Tournament doesn't start for another hour, but these guys are ready to go. They're already filling the parking lots. Part of that reason is they need to go through the inspection process. Mike, Chancey, and the other tournament officials are going to go through the sleds, buckets, four-wheelers, any zippered or closed cases just to make sure everything is kosher. Then all these teams are going to run down and get ready at the starting line for the shotgun start. Hey, all the participants have taken off. The tournament started. They're out there getting their holes drilled. They're setting up. While that's going on, let's go in and check with Mike and see what's going on behind the scenes. You know, Mike, people come out and they enjoy these tournaments. I don't think they really know how much work and preparation goes into getting ready for one of these things. I mean, you've got a variety of things. You've got applications to file for here with the state of Montana. Yep. You've got to get permits for using some of the state and county facilities at times. Parking becomes an issue, which limits the number of teams and things that you can bring into these events. But can you tell me a little bit about that preparation work with the applications and the permits and all the things you need to go through?
You know, work might be a strong term. There's effort involved. It's a lot of fun. We take a lot of pride in doing what we do, but it all starts with the application process. In Montana, unlike a lot of other states, it's almost 6 months out. So we're putting applications in June for tournaments that we're going to do January, February, March, and we don't even know if we have approved until October. So we start with that. Yeah, we put the paperwork in. The board will meet. We'll talk about which 3 lakes we're going to fish that year. We'll talk about what happened the year before. Access is a big issue for us. We don't have large populations, therefore our accesses are small. So, you know, we've got to be able to park 50, 60 rigs on a day, you know, and they're pickup trucks with trailers. So we got to take that into consideration. You know, how's the fishing been? Has the perch fishing been good? Is a good year class going on? There is a lot of behind the scenes stuff, Tom, but you know, the tournament day itself is just letting people go fishing. But it is all that stuff leading up to it. That's where the real work.
Yeah, and of course you got the safety factors to consider too, making sure that the access and the ice where the people are going. And how do you go about that? Do you have certain contacts or people you talk to? Check it out yourself, combination?
Well, folks are out here pre-fishing, you know. We let them pre-fish right up until Friday, day before the tournament. We want guys that come in out of town to be able to have time to come and pre-fish without having to come 3 days early. So we've got folks out here advising me of the conditions, that sort of thing. You know, if I'm able to, I'll come out and check it out myself. But we've got 2 or 3 folks that we really trust their judgment on. You know, it is ice fishing. You know, you got to make that judgment yourself. Is the ice safe for you and your machinery? We do have a release form that everyone signs. We do the briefing beforehand. If there was a trouble spot out there, I would have let folks know. You know, there's some soft spots out there. We kind of covered that, so they're aware of that. But like I say, most of them have been out here all week pre-fishing and are probably better equipped to deal with it than I would be.
Perfect. Well, I know you got some work to do here. There's a lot going on. It's a little lower key now that the tournament's actually begun, but you've got some patrols and things you need to run here. So, and you got some guys to get ready.
We do, yep. We'll cover 2 or 3 times around the lake, especially checking on folks that we know are first timers. You know, we're looking for the distance violation. We want to make sure that nobody's in trouble, you know. We want to make sure, because you can't help another angler. If you get out there and your four-wheeler won't start, you're hoofing it back to the weigh-in. So I need to know if at the end of the tournament we need to maybe have somebody on hand to go back and help somebody get off the ice. Lots of stuff to cover, so we better get out there and get our first round in.
Well, let's go and watch some of these guys and see how they're doing.
We got to get out and do some patrol, see some big fish, and I got to GPS those hot holes so I can come back next week and catch some big perch. So let's go out and talk to some folks, Tom.
Let's go do it.
More fishing action online at tgofishing.com.
All right, guys, first patrol of the day. Appreciate you coming out. Doug, bringing your brand new sled with you. I'm putting the Nebula system on here. You and I have talked about this. Flotation device. You get any trouble out there. Of course, we got good 20 inches of ice out there, so not gonna have any issues. Tony, you got the J wheels on here because it is slushy out there. So, you know, this is gonna keep you up on top, give you flotation you need, the traction you need. So Doug, basically just head out to the left, start with the first guys, just check on everyone, just stop and say hi, you know, just so they know the presence, the marshal presence is out there. Tony, you're gonna kind of go to the right. Biggest thing is look for that 30 pace violation. You see 2 guys and they're kind of far from each other, you know, kind of eyeball it. You don't have to, but, and then if you see a bunch of guys crowding in, check on that 10 pace, no closer than 10 paces. So, any questions? All right, guys, appreciate it. See you in a little bit.
Hey, Chancey.
Hi, Tom.
How we doing?
Not too bad.
Anything down that hole?
Not right now.
Well, I tell you what, it's turning out pretty well. I mean, cold this morning.
Yeah.
-6.
Yeah.
It's warmed up. There's no wind, sun's shining,
It's
and
beautiful now.
oh,
Yeah.
you can't get any better than this, can you?
No, not at all. It was a little rough this morning.
Yeah.
Nothing wanted to work very well.
Well, you know, that was a pretty severe cold front, and it definitely affected the fish. You know, we're going around checking in with the teams, and people are catching fish, but they really having to work for them. The fish are being tentative, and people aren't only enjoying the day. It's turned out beautiful, but they're really enjoying the tournament. And I've talked to a number of people that have fished this many times, and in fact, there was one team that said they've been in every single perch assault since it started in 2006. You're really the person that came up with this whole concept and the founder of it. What brought you to decide to bring a fishing tournament for perch here to Western Montana?
Well, you know, growing up, I used to read the In-Fisherman a lot and see the trap attacks, and that kind of gave me an idea. And then fishing the regular, just little derbies and stuff, I always did that, but I wanted to have a good tournament where everybody felt they were on an even playing field. And, you know, those tournaments are great, but we wanted to bring a really good professional tournament, almost like a bass tournament on ice type thing, you know, and so that was kind of where I originally thought, and then I brought it in and had Mike help me with it, and it's kind of just exploded from there.
Well, we're going to get out of your way and let you finish your fishing, and again, thanks for having us out.
You bet, thank you.
Stevie, how we doing?
We're doing pretty good, Mike.
Yeah? How many fish you got in the bucket?
We got a couple.
All right.
Got one about 6-7 inches, but we've been having some big marks come through, and so we're doing a little jigging.
How deep are you?
This one we are about 32 feet.
Oh, that deep?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You pre-fished here quite a bit?
We pre-fished here quite a bit during the week. I was out on Tuesday, caught like 25, 30 fish right here.
Wow.
So, different feeding pattern today though. Same jigs I used the other day.
Yeah.
They're not on yet, but they might.
Well, I mean, 75 rigs come flying by here 2 hours ago. It's gonna take these fish a little time to come back on things.
Yeah, it sure is.
Seeing anything? Seeing anybody hitting any big ones or hearing any hooting and hollering?
Jim and Ralph got a few more fish than we do next to us. I've seen them land a few. No real hoots and hollers, but nobody's really moving either.
Right.
So you don't know.
Right.
We saw 2 or 3 move over and dig a few new holes, but not too much going on right now.
Yeah. All right.
But
cool.
Had a late bite the other day on Tuesday.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Good.
12 to 1.
Well, pace yourself for that.
That I'm going to.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Everything
what
looking good. Not seeing anybody getting too far from each other or getting too close to you guys.
No, we got a good group here.
Okay.
It's pretty good.
Right on.
So,
All right, buddy.
a few more fish in the bucket.
Get them.
Right on.
I'll see you at the weigh-in.
Yeah.
I'll see you on the podium.
Well, how's the action out here, Ross?
It's actually getting pretty slow this afternoon. It changed a lot from this morning. We were fairly shallow and we were getting good numbers. Not much for size, but kind of at our wits' end here. We came out to the deep water. We had came across a lot of suspended fish earlier in the week, but they're just not here now. I mean, we have our 10 to weigh in. We know there's been a few nicer perch caught today. We're just hoping for a solid weigh-in at this point, have 10 respectable fish.
Well, you got an interesting strategy there coming out to the deeper water, and I also noticed you don't have to pull your line in right now, but I also noticed you're using a little larger lure and bigger presentation. Any particular reason why you're going that route?
Everything that we found and everyone that we've talked to have been producing a lot of small fish. The only thing we could really figure to do would be to upsize our baits and just do everything we can to keep those smaller fish away. And that's kind of why we upsize. We're going with jig and rapalas and VMC slender spoons and stuff like that. That's just a little bit bigger, that's going to help keep some of those smaller fish away. So we're seeing a lot of fish swim up to these baits and then turn away from them. And we're just kind of keeping our fingers crossed that those are smaller fish, kind of shunning away from it. And then hopefully those nicer fish, like I got one on me right now, but hopefully these nicer fish are going to commit to those little bit bigger baits and hopefully give us a better weight overall.
You're watching TGO, Tom Gruenwald Outdoors.
Drop shot rig, Pete. Being a little secretive there, huh?
No, this piece of equipment that I build is probably caught and won more perch assaults than any piece of tackle out here.
This is one of your designs?
Yes, it is. It's a little lead maggot. I don't have a problem. I'll bring it up and show it to you.
Well, all right. He's going to actually show us the secret. So there's somebody that's a tournament fisherman that doesn't mind sharing the knowledge. I love it. All right, tell us a little bit about the rig that you're using here now.
Well, they're just a little maggot-looking thing, more like a chronomid or whatever on the bottom, and they're just deadly little suckers, and I run them drop shot here. And little drop shot setup, 6 inches, and about 7, 8 inches. And the drop shot's to pound the mud on the bottom and work them fish up. And it seems to work pretty darn good. Just pulled a nice one up, solid half.
Now, do you find that you catch more fish on the upper or the lower jig? Have you had some doubles in any of these tournaments by chance?
Never had a double. Summertime, I've had many doubles. One time in the summer I was fishing it, pulling it off the boat, and I hooked up 2 pounder perch at the same time. I didn't know what I had on. And then the next batch that I got fishing, I pulled a 14-pound rainbow on 4-pound test. So they're a pretty deadly little critter.
Well, I really like that rig. You know, it's difficult when you get in these tournament situations. It's hard to fish 2 rods sometimes. Certainly helps to have 1 rod actively jigging and then have a dead stick system. I'm seeing a lot of these fishermen using that concept, but sometimes, especially when you get a light bite and it's easy to miss fish, just working 1 rod helps you to focus better, and being able to put a couple hooks on 1 line, I think that makes a lot of sense, Pete.
Oh, it does. It increases your average overall.
And that's the kind of thing that you can learn when you get into these organized tournaments. You fish with people like Pete and Ross and Chancey and a number of the other people that we've met here. They've been fishing these tournaments for quite a while. They've learned secrets, they've learned techniques, they've learned tricks to help them catch more fish. And what's really nice about it is they're willing to share that knowledge after the tournament's over. Just one of the many reasons why people might want to get in an organized tournament like the perch assault.
Hey guys. Hey Tom. We're just getting ready to give the 1 hour warning.
Okay.
This tournament, we give everybody a notice. They got 1 hour. They've got to be up the line by 2 o'clock, so you'll hear us running around hollering. So I just want to let you know.
Okay, 1 hour warning.
Okay.
All right, thanks guys. You bet. We'll see you back there at the weigh-in. Okay. Hey, the Purchase All 2014 here on Upper Thompson Lake in Montana just ended. They gave the final sounding. Everybody needs to be in and get their fish weighed. Let's go and see how they did.
A couple nice ones in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 fish. 0.52 for the big fish. Keeping or putting them back? All right, Jim, team number? 4. Team number 4. 10 fish. 1.70. Got some nice fish here. I think we've got a new leader. 10 fish. At 3.38. Probably the heavy, probably got a new leader here. We have 3.67 for a total weight. All right. 0.87 on the big fish. New leader, team number 57. That's a $900 fish there so far. Team number 35, 1.94. Looks like we got a new big fish coming up here at 0.96. New leader at 0.96. Good job, guys. 2.29. What do you think, Jamie? Obviously the big one. 0.37.
More fishing action online at tgofishing.com.
Mike, we got everybody weighed in. What happens next?
What happens next is Chancey's going to call some numbers, give some prizes away. It's a stalling tactic, but usually they're okay to win some prizes. I'm going to go tally everything up, and I'll probably be back in about 10 minutes, and then we'll start writing some big checks. So, yeah.
Well, let's give away a few prizes here. Come back and we'll see who our champion of the Purchase All 2014 is.
All right. 6th place, Gio and Ken. Now, there's a check for $132. Unless you guys go anywhere, there's something called the Big Fish Pot that has $900 in the envelope. So how about them apples?
I like those.
We like those apples. All right, 3rd place, we've got Josh and Shane. $395 and a couple of trophies. 2nd place, Travis and Bob. Hey guys, good to see you again. There's a check. And 1st place, $795, Denise and Wayne. You knew I'd get to you eventually.
Thanks for Cindy. Thanks.
Yes, thanks for Cindy. All right, big picture.
Well, Mike, it started cold, but it ended hot, didn't it?
It sure did.
What a tournament.
Well, thanks, Tom. You know, it's something we take a lot of pride in, you know, and obviously the folks love it. You know, we had another great mix of contestants today. We had some first-timers, we've had some long-timers. You got to see a real good example of how we fish perch up here in northwest Montana. There was a team of guys that got the big fish, Gio and Ken, and they've been together as a team for about as long as we've been doing this. And I've watched those guys come from being just, you know, dead last, no fish, 2 fish, and now they're a team that can be expected to be in the money almost every time. So we had a first-year team. Only their 2nd event, finished in the top 5. We had some regulars finish in the money. We have some rivalries going on between store employees and stuff like that. So there's always lots of cool stuff going on. That's why it makes the Purchase All so much fun.
And there's a lot of things there to motivate and encourage some of these first-timers and those that have been here for a number of years that people are looking up to be able to tease them a little bit. Hey, we caught up to you.
Oh, yeah.
I asked a number of teams, I said, what is it that brings you? What draws you to the Purchase All, or what brings you to an ice fishing tournament? And overwhelmingly it was just the fun
Yeah.
of being around other people and the friendly competition.
And it is
So-
friendly competition, you know. Some of these events are really hardcore. Some of them are just, you know, hey, whatever happens, happens. We're just out here. But we've got a good mix of competition, fun, camaraderie, new people coming, old people encouraging them, welcoming, very welcoming. You know, we had a lot of prizes to give away today. I don't think anybody went home without anything. If they did, they probably, you know, weren't looking at their ticket. You know, just the sponsor participation has always been great. The folks that fish it are fantastic. You know, we really enjoy doing it, and I think it shows.
Well, it's another dimension of ice fishing, Mike, that people can enjoy, and there's so many different things. People do it for the solitude, they do it for the camaraderie, they do it for the experience of learning. There's so many different things. Maybe it's for a little bit of all that, and this Purchase Out tournament showed us that today. What an outstanding day. I hope you enjoyed watching our show today as much as we enjoyed being out here bringing it to you. Hey, don't miss us again next time here on TGO, where you know it's going to be all ice fishing all the time.
TGO has been brought to you by HT, premium ice tackle since 1974. Polar Fire Gear, this is how it's done. Tourism Saskatchewan, Canada's best freshwater fishing. Vexilar, ice fishing begins when you turn your Vexilar on. Kalispell, Montana, discovery in every direction. And these other fine sponsors. TGO, where it's all ice fishing all the time.